Hey, book lovers! Today, we're diving into Stephen Covey's groundbreaking classic, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a book that has been empowering readers around the world for decades. Whether you're a professional seeking to improve productivity, a leader looking to inspire your team, or anyone hoping to create lasting positive habits, this video has something valuable for you. We'll kick things off with a general overview of the book, followed by a spoiler-free summary to help you decide if this life-changing guide deserves a spot on your reading list. If you're here for a quick rundown, you're welcome to check out after that section. But if you're eager for more, stick around. We'll dive deeper with a detailed review, exploring the book's strengths and weaknesses. For those who want a more comprehensive breakdown, we'll unpack each of Covey's 7 habits, sharing insights on how they can reshape both your personal and professional life. So, settle in and let's explore the world of the 7 habits of highly effective people. Whether you're looking to achieve greater personal growth, build meaningful relationships, or transform how you approach life's challenges, this video will guide you through Covey's essential framework for success. As Covey teaches us, this journey isn't just about effectiveness. It's about creating a life rooted in purpose, integrity, and continuous improvement. Let's get started. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is a widely acclaimed self-help and personal development book that has influenced millions since its publication in 1989. Known for its enduring wisdom and practical guidance, the book falls within the genre of self-improvement and productivity, focusing on personal and professional growth. Covey, a renowned author, educator, and speaker, was a respected thought leader in leadership and personal effectiveness. His work emphasizes principles rather than quick-fix solutions, setting the 7 habits apart from other books in the self-help field. The book's core idea is that effectiveness, whether in relationships, career, or personal goals, comes from focusing on timeless principles such as integrity, empathy, and responsibility. Rather than offering a set of strategies, Covey encourages readers to build foundational habits that shape character and influence actions in all areas of life. His approach emphasizes the importance of aligning personal values with one's vision for life, aiming to create habits that lead to lasting, positive change. These principles are presented as universally applicable, allowing readers of all backgrounds to find meaning and relevance in Covey's insights. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People has gained global recognition, becoming a bestseller that has been translated into multiple languages and used in schools, businesses, and leadership training programs worldwide. It's widely regarded as a classic in personal development literature, praised for its depth, clarity, and focus on building character as the foundation for success. Decades after its release, the book remains a go-to resource for those seeking to improve their lives through thoughtful, consistent habits and a values-driven approach to success. Stephen Covey's emphasis on timeless values and practical wisdom has made this book a respected and enduring guide in personal and professional circles alike. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is a powerful guide to achieving both personal and professional success through intentional habits and character building. Covey presents 7 foundational habits that, when practiced consistently, can lead to greater effectiveness and fulfillment in life. The habits are divided into 2 key areas: personal growth, or private victories, and interpersonal effectiveness, or public victories, with an additional focus on continuous self-renewal. The first few habits center on personal responsibility, vision, and priorities. Covey emphasizes the importance of proactive decision-making, goal alignment, and focusing on what truly matters, helping individuals gain clarity and purpose in their actions. These habits form a foundation for self-mastery and personal growth. In the next set of habits, Covey explores how to build meaningful and collaborative relationships. He advocates for a mindset that seeks mutual benefit, emphasizes deep listening to understand others, and values the strengths of teamwork. These habits are designed to help individuals improve communication, foster stronger connections, and create environments where everyone can thrive. Finally, Covey introduces the concept of continuous self-renewal, a habit that encourages us to take care of ourselves in all aspects, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This ensures that we remain balanced and resilient over the long term. Overall, Covey's approach in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is more than just a series of strategies. It's a call to adopt principles that foster lasting character development and long-term success. His book encourages readers to cultivate habits that not only enhance individual effectiveness, but also build more fulfilling and impactful relationships. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey is a transformative book that has remained relevant for decades due to its focus on timeless principles over quick-fix solutions. One of its greatest strengths lies in Covey's emphasis on character development. Rather than promoting superficial life hacks, he guides readers toward building a foundation of integrity, responsibility, and values-based action. The book's structured approach, dividing habits into categories of self-mastery, relationships, and renewal, provides a holistic view of personal growth and effectiveness. Covey's insights into prioritizing long-term goals and fostering mutual success in relationships make it highly practical for both personal and professional contexts. However, some readers may find the book's tone a bit too formal or its examples somewhat outdated, especially as Covey uses stories from the late 20th century. The concepts, though powerful, can occasionally feel dense, and applying all 7 habits at once may seem overwhelming. That said, those willing to work through the material will find it to be a comprehensive and valuable guide. Overall, The 7 Habits is a worthwhile read for anyone looking to create meaningful and lasting change in their life. Its strengths far outweigh its minor weaknesses, making it a classic in the self-help genre. Introduction: Paradigms and Principles. Stephen Covey opens his transformative work by addressing a fundamental shift he observed in success literature over the past century. He draws a crucial distinction between 2 approaches to personal development: the character ethic, which dominated the first 150 years of American success literature, and the personality ethic, which emerged after World War I. The character ethic emphasized fundamental traits such as integrity, humility, fidelity, temperance, courage, justice, patience, and simplicity as the foundation of success. In contrast, the personality ethic focused on quick-fix solutions, social image, positive attitudes, and relationship techniques. While acknowledging that both elements of personality growth and character development are important, Covey argues that character is more fundamental and that trying to create lasting success without addressing character is like trying to create an abundant harvest without first preparing the ground. The author then introduces the critical concept of paradigms, which he defines as the way we see the world, not in terms of visual sense perception, but in terms of perceiving, understanding, and interpreting. Through powerful examples, including the famous young woman and old woman optical illusion, Covey demonstrates how our paradigms fundamentally shape how we interpret everything we experience. He argues that paradigm shifts, quantum changes in perspective, are essential for any major breakthrough in personal or professional life. These shifts allow us to break free from conditioned responses and see situations in new and more effective ways. A foundational concept that Covey establishes is the maturity continuum, dependence to independence to interdependence. While society often celebrates independence as the highest achievement, Covey makes a compelling case that interdependence represents a higher level of maturity. Dependence operates on the paradigm of "you take care of me." Independence functions on the paradigm of "I can do it myself." But interdependence works from the paradigm of "we can do it better together." This progression forms the backbone of the 7 habits, with the first 3 habits focusing on moving from dependence to independence, which is a private victory, and the next 3 focusing on developing interdependence, which is a public victory. Habit 1. Be proactive. The first habit establishes the bedrock principle that distinguishes humans from all other forms of life. We are responsible for our own lives through our unique human endowments of self-awareness, imagination, conscience, and independent will. Covey introduces this concept through the powerful story of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps and discovered that between stimulus and response, humans have the freedom to choose. This space between stimulus and response, Frankl realized, represented the essence of human freedom and dignity. The power to choose our response based on our values rather than our conditioning or circumstances. Covey delves deep into the distinction between proactive people, who take responsibility for their lives, and reactive people, who blame external circumstances for their conditions. This difference manifests clearly in the language patterns people use. Proactive language includes phrases like "I can," "I will," and "I prefer," while reactive language relies on phrases like "I can't," "I have to," or "if only." The author emphasizes that being proactive doesn't mean being pushy, aggressive, or insensitive. Rather, it means taking responsibility for our choices and focusing our efforts on things we can influence rather than simply reacting to or worrying about conditions over which we have little or no control. To illustrate this concept, Covey introduces the circle of concern versus circle of influence model. Proactive people focus their energy on their circle of influence, those things they can actually do something about. This focus typically results in the expansion of their circle of influence over time. Conversely, reactive people tend to focus on their circle of concern, things over which they have little or no control, which causes their circle of influence to shrink. This principle becomes particularly powerful when applied to workplace scenarios, personal relationships, and health concerns, where focusing on what we can influence rather than what we can't leads to significantly better outcomes. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. The second habit builds upon the first by introducing the principle of personal leadership and vision. Covey begins this section with a powerful exercise asking readers to envision their own funeral and contemplate what they would want different speakers, family members, friends, colleagues, and community members to say about them. This visualization serves as a stark reminder that our daily decisions and actions should align with how we ultimately want to be remembered. The author emphasizes that all things are created twice. First mentally, which is the first or mental creation, then physically, which is the second or physical creation. If we don't consciously engage in the first creation, we risk letting other people and circumstances shape our lives by default. Central to this habit is the development of a personal mission statement, a document that articulates our fundamental values, life goals, and principles. Unlike traditional goal setting, which focuses on having or achieving specific things, a personal mission statement concentrates on what kind of person we want to become and what we want to contribute to the world. Covey provides numerous examples of both corporate and personal mission statements, demonstrating how they can serve as a personal constitution against which all decisions can be evaluated. He emphasizes that effective mission statements should balance all the important roles in our lives: individual, family, professional, and community, ensuring that success in one area doesn't come at the expense of another. The author makes a crucial distinction between leadership and management. Leadership focuses on determining what to climb for, while management focuses on the best way to climb. He warns against the common trap of working harder and harder to climb the ladder of success. only to discover it's leaning against the wrong wall. This metaphor powerfully illustrates why beginning with the end in mind is so crucial. It ensures our daily activities align with our deepest values and true north principles. Habit 3. Put first things first. Building directly on the previous two habits, the third habit addresses the critical question of prioritization and execution. Covey introduces his now famous time management matrix, which organizes activities based on two factors: urgency and importance. This creates 4 quadrants that help us understand where we spend our time and, more importantly, where we should be spending it. Quadrant 1 contains urgent and important activities like crises and pressing problems. Quadrant 2 holds important but not urgent activities such as planning, prevention, and relationship building. Quadrant 3 encompasses urgent but not important interruptions, while Quadrant 4 contains activities that are neither urgent nor important. The author makes a compelling case that effective people spend the majority of their time in Quadrant 2, which he calls the quadrant of quality. By focusing on important but not urgent activities like planning, preparation, and prevention, we reduce the number of Quadrant 1 crises we face and minimize time wasted in Quadrants 3 and 4. To illustrate this principle, Covey introduces the big rocks metaphor, demonstrating how we must put our most important priorities or the big rocks into our schedule first, before filling in with less important matters like the pebbles and sand. The habit introduces advanced concepts of delegation, distinguishing between gopher delegation, which means telling people what to do and supervising their methods, and stewardship delegation, which means focusing on results rather than methods. Stewardship delegation involves clear specification of desired results, guidelines, resources, accountability, and consequences, while giving people freedom to choose their own methods. This approach builds trust, develops capability, and frees up time for more Quadrant 2 activities. Habit 4. Think win-win. Moving from private to public victory. The fourth habit introduces the paradigm of interpersonal leadership. Covey presents 6 paradigms of human interaction: win-win, win-lose, lose-win, lose-lose, win, and win-win or no deal. He argues that while win-win isn't always possible, it should be the initial aim in all interactions because it's the only sustainable approach for long-term relationships. The author explores how win-win thinking requires tremendous character, particularly the traits of integrity, which is staying true to our values; maturity, which is expressing feelings and convictions with courage while considering others' feelings and convictions; and abundance mentality, which is believing there's plenty for everybody. Covey emphasizes that win-win is not a personality technique, but a total paradigm of human interaction. It requires seeing life as a cooperative and not a competitive arena. The author provides detailed frameworks for creating win-win agreements that include clear expectations, available resources, accountability measures, and consequences. He explores how organizational systems must align with win-win principles through compatible structures in training, planning, compensation, and communication. The concept of the emotional bank account is introduced as a metaphor for the trust built in relationships through consistent deposits of courtesy, kindness, honesty, and keeping commitments. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. The fifth habit represents what Covey considers the most important principle in the field of interpersonal relations. He begins by highlighting a common problem in communication. Most people don't listen with the intent to understand, but rather with the intent to reply. They're either speaking or preparing to speak, filtering everything through their own paradigms, reading their autobiography into other people's lives. This habit introduces the concept of empathic listening, which involves getting inside another person's frame of reference, seeing the world as they see it, understanding their paradigm, and understanding their feelings. This is far more than the active or reflective listening techniques that simply mimic what another person says. Covey identifies 5 levels of listening, ranging from ignoring to empathic listening, and explains why most people typically operate at the lower levels. He provides detailed examples of how autobiographical responses, evaluating, probing, advising, and interpreting can shut down meaningful communication and prevent true understanding. The author emphasizes that empathic listening is not a technique, but a deep attitude of genuine desire to understand others. When we truly listen empathically, we listen with our ears, our eyes, and our heart, tuning into feelings, meanings, and behavior. We give people psychological air, the space to express themselves fully without judgment or premature advice. The second part of the habit, seeking to be understood, is equally crucial but can only be effectively done after understanding others. Covey explains that presenting our ideas in terms of others' paradigms and concerns makes them far more receptive to our message. He provides specific guidance for presenting ideas clearly, specifically, visually, and contextually, emphasizing the importance of ethos or personal credibility, pathos or emotional alignment, and logos or logical reasoning in effective presentation. Habit 6. Synergize. The 6th habit represents the culmination of all previous habits, embodying the highest activity in all life, that is creative cooperation. Covey defines synergy as the essence of principle-centered leadership, where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. He explains that synergy is everywhere in nature. The way that 2 plants growing close to each other will intertwine their roots to better extract nutrients from the soil, how multiple muscles work together to move a finger, or how a husband and wife can create a child together. In human interaction, synergy means that 1 + 1 may equal 3 or more. It's about creating new alternatives, not just compromising between positions, but finding a third alternative that is better than what any individual originally proposed. The author emphasizes that synergy doesn't just happen. It requires a high level of trust and cooperation. When people begin to interact synergistically, they tap into each other's strengths and compensate for each other's weaknesses, creating better solutions than anyone could have predicted. Covey explores how differences between people represent opportunities rather than obstacles. When properly valued and leveraged, differences in perspective, knowledge, and experience can lead to innovative solutions. He provides numerous examples of synergy in various contexts, from business negotiations to family conflicts, demonstrating how the synergistic process can transform seemingly intractable problems into opportunities for creative cooperation. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. The 7th and final habit encapsulates all the others, focusing on what Covey calls balanced self-renewal. The metaphor comes from the story of a woodcutter straining to saw down a tree, making slow progress because he refuses to stop sawing to sharpen his saw. The author presents 4 dimensions of renewal that must be regularly attended to. Physical dimension. This dimension involves caring for our physical body through proper exercise, nutrition, stress management, and rest. Covey emphasizes that our physical health affects our ability to implement all the other habits effectively. He provides specific guidelines for developing an effective physical renewal program, including at least 3 to 4 sessions per week of exercise that combines endurance, flexibility, and strength. Mental dimension. The mental dimension revolves around continuing education and expanding our knowledge and skills. This includes reading, writing, organizing, and planning. The author stresses the importance of systematic and disciplined study, regular reading of great literature, and exposing ourselves to great minds through books and other media. He also emphasizes the value of teaching others as a way to deepen our own understanding. Social or emotional dimension. This dimension centers on our relationships with others and our own inner life. It includes service, empathy, synergy, and intrinsic security. Covey explains how meaningful relationships and contribution to others are essential for emotional well-being and effectiveness. He provides strategies for building and maintaining emotional bank accounts in key relationships. Spiritual dimension. The spiritual dimension provides leadership to our lives and is the core of our center and our commitment to our value system. It's about connecting with our inner values and principles through meditation, music, art, prayer, or service to others. The author emphasizes that regular renewal in this dimension provides the foundation for renewal in all other dimensions. Covey concludes by emphasizing that these dimensions are interrelated. Neglect in one area affects performance in others. He provides practical suggestions for implementing renewal activities in each dimension and stresses that investment in ourselves is the most important investment we can make. The habit of balanced self-renewal ensures sustainable long-term effectiveness and prevents burnout. The book concludes by reinforcing how all 7 habits work together synergistically, creating an upward spiral of growth and change. Each habit builds upon and supports the others, leading to continuous personal and professional development. Covey emphasizes that while developing these habits requires tremendous commitment and effort, the rewards, in terms of personal growth, improved relationships, and increased effectiveness, make the journey worthwhile. And there you have it, folks. We've just delved into the transformative insights of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, breaking down its timeless principles for achieving personal and professional success. We started with an overview of the book, exploring Covey's approach to building character-based habits that foster effectiveness and long-term growth. We then covered some of the key habits that have empowered millions around the world, from being proactive to putting first things first. For those who joined us for the spoiler-free review, I hope you now have a clear sense of whether this essential classic belongs on your reading list. It's not just about achieving more. It's about aligning your actions with your values, creating a balanced, purpose-driven life that enriches both you and those around you. And for those who stayed for the detailed breakdown, I hope you've gained a deeper understanding of why Covey's principles, from thinking win-win to sharpening the saw, continue to resonate today. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more book reviews and insights. Covey reminds us that true success starts from within, and by cultivating these powerful habits, we can create lasting positive change in our lives. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep reading, keep growing, and keep striving to live with purpose and effectiveness.